Welcome to Storyology, the what, how, and why of story. The best way to understand a word's meaning is not always to look at a dictionary definition, and when writing, no one should ever begin an essay or speech with a dictionary definition.
Webster's dictionary defines wedding as the fusing of two metals with a hot torch.
Or a reference to yourself, like saying, I personally believe.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps.
But look at a word's etymology, or the root and history of the word, which will show the context of the word's birth, so to speak. The word story comes from the 1200s, a Latin term for a history, an account, or a tale. Go back further, this comes from a Greek verb that means I inquire or I become familiar with. Its noun form refers to one who is wise and one who seeks to know. No, this does not mean someone who thinks he is wise but isn't. There's also another Latin term derived from Greek, mythos, which refers to a story that contains significant meaning for a given people, which includes the origins, religions, customs, laws, and every cultural aspect of a certain people placed in a certain setting. By the way, all these mythologies all across the world share certain quality. Mythology explores who we are, why we are here, and while it doesn't always consider the more scientific how, some mythologies may. Nonetheless, while all of these definitions are important, we're focusing upon one guy's work here, and those who built upon his labors. That's right, Aristotle, whose Poetics has been the standard bearer for understanding how stories work for nearly 2,500 years. Keep in mind, it isn't that Aristotle created the story form. In his own words, noting the essential quality of a story and what makes one good or bad was his effort. Interestingly, he also spends a good portion of the Poetics showing the general worthlessness of critics who jump at certain groundless conclusions and pass adverse judgment upon a story and find fault if a thing is inconsistent with their own fancy. Aristotle has no time for a pretentious critic who comments on what he does not understand.
That is sort of an oaky afterbirth.
Aristotle shows what solid criticism looks like, but finds a general practice in need of guiding principles so that people can know how to interpret stories. One may also wonder if Aristotle had the privacy of critics who actually praised The Last Jedi. We normally think of poetry as verse, with meter, rhythm, and often rhyme. However, the root of Aristotle's Poetics, the noun poema, refers to an act or a product of creation. A poem takes a poet or a creator who started with nothing but words for literature or colors for painting or notes for music and forms something original. This act is what J.R.R. Tolkien coined as being a, quote, sub-creator. Tolkien argued that God is the creator of all things in all forms, the word, the color, the note originator. It is the job of the human to take the materials of the world and create true, good, and beautiful artifacts out of them. There's something to this, because we have to at least agree that we don't create notes, colors, or language itself. Well, except for Tolkien. Let's repeat. Poem originally meant either prose or verse. Now people mistakenly use it synonymously with verse. Sorry, College Board. Because of that shift, we no longer have an umbrella term for these basic writing genres. It seems that we have creative writing, maybe, with prose and poetry, but alas, I digress. So the word itself refers to a history, a tale, becoming familiar with, seeking wisdom. But if story is a whole, then what are its parts? A story has 6 parts, according to Aristotle: plot, character, theme, diction, the rhythm and mood are 1, and spectacle. According to Aristotle, these 6 parts go in order of importance, with plot being preeminent, spectacle as the lowest on the ladder. One cannot have a story without all of these principles, and every one is dependent upon and interacts with all of the others. This is simply the way that it is.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
As far as what these parts of story entail, we'll get into that later. For our real-life resolution, here's a little teaser for that later video. Try to think of any aspect of human existence that does not involve some form of narrative. If you think you have an answer, post it below. Okay, I'll go ahead and give you 2, maybe. Chemistry and calculus. Are they without story form? Try to think of others, if you think you can handle it. Next time, we're going to look at how these 7 AP skills overlap with Aristotle's 6 principles, giving us a basic teaser into what Aristotle's principles were actually all about. Until then, I hope you have a great day as our story continues.
Test your might.